Yes, people, welcome to Real Fans TV. It's your boy Zane here again. Now, today we're going to do a video on was it right to sack Emery? Now, I've been thinking about this and I'm thinking, how has Arteta performed against Emery? Because there's a lot of noise about, get Emery out, sack him, blah, blah, blah. Now we've got Arteta in. Now, it's quite interesting actually at the moment where there's some Arteta out people and there's some Arteta in. So I thought it'd be quite useful to have a look at and compare the two managers and actually see, was it actually right to sack Emery? Before I carry on, guys, subscribe and bust a like on this, because the more people who subscribe, the more people get involved, the sooner I can do live streams and get you guys involved in the chat. Because ideally, that's what I like to do. But man's an entertainer, you get me? So man wants to let people know when I'm going live streaming, you guys can come in, get involved, get on the chat, talk to me direct, ask me questions, and we can just have fun. Because this is what it's about: real fans getting together and catching some joke and discussing things. Do you get me? So anyway, so let me bring up my comparison and we'll go through it. Okay, guys? So, manager comparison. Let's see how these guys have been doing. Right, so as you can quite clearly see on the manager experience, Emery's got a lot more. Do you get me? I think he started in 2006, so he's been got 14 years manager experience, where Arteta 2019, so what, a year and a half. So December 2019. All right, so he's had a year. All right, let's give me real. But he's been at Man City for how long? 2016 to 2019. So it's 3 years at Man City as an assistant, but he didn't manage anything, right? So now let's look at the points per game. As you can see from the points per game, if you compare Arsenal directly, Emery did 1.85 points per game at Arsenal, and Arteta is currently at 1.91. Right? Okay. So now what's interesting is, I think it was known that Emery was a more attacking type of manager, right? So whereas Arteta has come in and fundamentally he's focused on becoming more defensively solid, right? So it's quite interesting that even though Emery was more attacking, he didn't get that much more points per game compared to Arteta. It's actually quite similar. What, 1.85, 1.91, what, 0.6 in it, 0.6, sorry, in it. So you look at the records. Obviously, at Arsenal, Emery played 78 games, whereas Arteta's only played, let's have a look, 56. So 56, right? So come the end of the season, it'd be quite useful then to compare, because then they've had a season and a half each, because I think obviously Emery got sacked 1.5 seasons in, and Arteta has just done this full sort of one kind of season, but obviously he hasn't completed this season. So once he completes the season, it'll be a good comparison, because it should play similar amount of games, right? Now if we look at the win-loss record, so 43 wins for Arteta, 43 wins for Emery, drawn 15, lost 20, right? Look at Arteta, 33 wins, drawn 8, lost 15. So what I can see straight away, just even looking at this, right, is that even though Emery played more of attacking style, there seems to be a lot more defensive issues, because he did lose a lot more games compared to Arteta. Obviously, Arteta's finished the season, but I would be surprised if Arteta carries on that way. I mean, looking at it at the moment, the expected goals for both teams as well. Let's look at it: 2.0, 1.2, 1.35, 1.8 to 1.13. So clearly, again, it alludes to the fact that Emery had a more attacking, and there was more goals that came from within the team, whereas Arteta, as I've said earlier, has been a bit more defensive minded. So it's again weighing up the thing, and there is this project going on So I take it, with Arteta coming in, he could see that, the dysfunctions within Arsenal. Clearly, the leaking of goals and the defensive situations was quite the key priority. So at the moment, you've got to give him the benefit of that initially anyway, just because he's trying to sort out the defense before he sorts out the attack, right? So that's fine. So let's look about the trophies, right? So before Emery went to PSG, he'd only won, well, not only, sorry, he won 3 back-to-back Europa Leagues with Seville. Now, Seville, obviously, within this the Liga, it's very unlikely for them to ever win the cups or the league due to the financial power and the might of Barcelona and Real Madrid. You could also count, Atletico in that. They're a great team as well. So, in reality, 3 back-to-back Europa Leagues is quite an achievement, and should be applauded. Well done, mate. That was good. Do you get me? I can respect that still. Do you get me, right? Now, if you look at the other trophies, they're all won in the French league with PSG. So the best sort of team in the Farmers League. Do you get me, right? So first year he didn't get the league, but he got it the second year was there, and he wasn't there that long. So let's have a look. So PSG, he was there from 2016 to 2018. So literally, he did 2 seasons, right? First season, he didn't win it. I think Monaco won the league that year, whatever. So if you look at his trophies, he's got a French league, a French League Cup, 2 French Cups, which I think is their version of FA Cup. You can tell from the trophy, it looks like a knockoff FA Cup, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So, and then when you look at Arteta, he's won 1 FA Cup in his in his half a season he joined, which is great. Great achievement, getting a bit of silverware. Taking on the job halfway through the season. So fair play. But obviously, if we come down to why Emery left PSG, was basically it was the Champions League. He didn't deliver when it came to it in the Champions League. So fundamentally, the part of the mutual terms where, he said, right, clearly I haven't delivered what I expected with all the kind of sick players I had in PSG. So he moved on, and, he was, here to replace Wenger. So, so what's quite interesting at this moment, my opinion on this is at the moment, Arteta's won an FA Cup, but and what's that? Do you know what I mean? What I'm more interested in is understanding also how, what kind of players and, what have they done, by the time, for the time they've been there at the club. So let's look at the next slide, right? So here's what I've done, right? So I've put my ratings against the signings that Emery and Arteta have done, okay? So from my point of view, if we look at it, right, so, Martinelli, everyone's gashing about it now, they're all crying now. Oh, he bust his ankle, but trust me, the way Arsenal fans talk about him, he was decent. It was a decent signing. Leno, again, decent, great shot stopper, but he has his limitations. He's not a top class keeper, but compared to what they had before, I think it's improvement over Czech, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Torreira, I thought he was decent. Like, I remember one game when he played against us, he was like a terrier. He just would not let go. He was just constantly, snapping at people's feet. And I thought he was a decent signing. But it'd be interesting to understand what your Arsenal fans think. And do you miss him now? And do you wish, he'd still stayed? Because, would he have improved your midfield? Because I hear all this moaning about Xhaka. So, you tell me. The next we've got Tierney. I think everyone can admit that he's a great left back. Now he's playing left back, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Now Arteta's finally playing in his proper position. You can quite see the quality in the kid, and you can see definitely, as the Arsenal fans talk about, a future Arsenal captain, right? Now, the average signings, what I consider average, Guendouzi, I think he had his moments, but fundamentally, I don't think we saw the best of him. And then obviously with Arteta, they fell out and there was some issues, so he's moved on now. But again, compared to what you got at the moment, is he better than El Nene and all that kind of stuff? I think he was average. He had his opportunities, but unfortunately, like I said, he fell out with Arteta. Ceballos, I think he's average. He has his moments. Do you get me? He's done some bits, but he's a sideways passing merchant. Do you get me? Sideways. He's like a crab. Do you know what I mean? Passing it sideways, left, right, and that. So he's all right. He's not bad, but he's not exactly amazing. But I just want to call him average. Then you got David Luiz. He's a bit interesting one for me because he's had his moments where he's played really well, but then you have other moments where he's just does some dumb stuff. So on balance of play, the good versus the bad, I'd say average. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those where there have been times where he's been amazing, so you got to remember those performances, but there are other times he's been awful. So I'll give him average for that. Now, let's look at the dead players. Right, so Saliba, I'm putting him in dead because I haven't even seen him, and I don't know whatever's happened or whatever he's done again to Arteta. There was also the social stuff where he's been openly having a go at Arteta. So I ain't seen the kid, so man has to put him dead because it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? The next one, right? Socrates. Nah, man, that guy he is slow. He's like a truck. Do you know what I mean? He's just taking forever to do move. I think he's dead. That's my opinion. I never rated him. Every time I saw him, I thought, "Well, you not paid what for him?" So, nah, he's dead. Next one, Pepe. Now, this may be controversial because there's some Pepe fanboys in there with Arsenal, but 72 million. What has he done for 72 million? You could argue, he's not been playing his right position. He's had to have time to adjust. He's got a new manager that came in and all that kind of stuff. But trust me, 72 million, what have you done? Not enough, bruv. So you're dead. That's it. That's how I'm saying, bruv. I don't care what anyone says. For 72 million, I want the output, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And you ain't giving me nothing. So that's that. Lichtsteiner, he came in for the experience, Jimmy, from Juve, whatever, but never unfortunately got in it again. He's a bit old and maybe he couldn't adapt to the Premier League. So, I've got to call him dead because he didn't really do much. Suarez, well, that never worked out. Man got unlucky, got an injury, but do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I think he played 4 games or something and then man was done. Do you know what I mean? He got an injury and then you never really saw him again. So that's my thoughts and opinions on how I ranked the Arteta signings. Again, put in the comments what you guys think, and like I said, it's a debate, and that's how I want you guys to see what you think about this and whether you think these are good or not. Right? So let's go to Arteta now. Let's start with the start. Partey, I rate, from Atletico, decent player. You lot were gassing up the Arsenal fans. You even made a bloody song about him, AFT and that, big up Don Robbie and all that. But do you know what I mean? From what I saw of him, the little I saw of him, because he's injured now, he looked decent. So fair play to him. Do you get me? Gabriel, I've got to say again, another great signing. He's definitely shored up the defense, and from my point of view, he's been a key player in Arsenal season and definitely a decent signing. Then we go to Mari. Now, he hasn't had much of a chance, to be fair to him, but he's now just sort of broken into the team. And to be fair, he's done all right. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what I mean? Hopefully he gets more opportunities. But I think at the moment I have to put him in average because I haven't seen enough of him to really make that opinion on whether he's decent or dead. But the fact he's had a few chances is great, and let's see what happens with him. Now, let's go to the dead characters. Willian. I'm sorry, bro. That was some fraudulent activity. I'm sorry. I don't know how. Even the Chelsea fans were telling you, don't buy Willian, and you lot still spent the money, and I don't know how many P's that man's on per week, but boy, man, do you know what I mean? You should go to trading standards and try and get your money back, because boy, that clearly ain't working out. So enough said about him. Let's move on. So next one, Suarez. Man can't even get into the team over Bellerin, and you Arsenal fans are always cussing Bellerin out and saying, "Oh, he's dead. Oh, he can't even do a throw on." Blah blah blah. So the fact that this man can't even get Bellerin out of the way, it's got to be dead. That's my reason behind it, because I don't rate Bellerin anyway. And if Bellerin's still in the team and this guy can't get in, says it all, bruv. Now, I'm sorry, this guy here, Runnison, bruv, Runnison. No. Allow it, fam. Man is dead. Did you see what he did in that game where the ball went through his hand? I was like, that was peak, bro. You know what? I feel kind of sorry for him still, but you lot gave up Martinez for this guy. Do you get me? Martinez went to Aston Villa, and you lot bought this guy as a replacement. That's a violation. That's just that's no, man. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? In my opinion, I think you should have got rid of Leno and kept Martinez, because he's doing bits, man. I'm sure he's, at this time of recording, I'm sure he's one of the players in the you can vote for in Play the Month. So clearly my man's doing bits, but this guy, I'm sorry, man. That's just a violation. Do you get me? Because this guy is dead, proper dead. If I had the space, I'd make a next character, bruv. Just me. Extinct, bruv, because this guy, nah, allow that, listen to that. Do you get me? So anyway, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing like that, right? But back to it now. So in conclusion, right, looking at, they've had Emery had a year and a half. Arteta just had about a year. 1.85 points per game, 1.91 points per game. Defense just sort of got better. Let's see how it goes this season. But if I'm honest, and this is my conclusion, you got rid of Emery and you brought in Arteta. I can't really see that much difference. All right, you may have got a bit more solid and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the players that are now in the team and Arsenal fans like are basically Emery signings, right? So I think, from my point of view, that if you're gonna get, if you weren't happy with Emery and he had that run of 9 games where he didn't get a win or whatever, and you got rid of him, you can see the form that Arteta's had recently, right? Where it was like peak. Some of those records were like records you don't want to get. Do you get me, right? Yeah, he's got the chance. So I think that Arteta's unproven, yet it's been given more time than Emery was. And now you will have to commit to him clearly now and stick with him, because obviously that's your last manager. So do I think that in the next 3-4 years, because it's a 3-4 year project, or probably 5-year project, that Arteta's going to get you guys to the point? I don't think so. If you're looking for trophies and getting backed up to the top, I don't think so. I mean, Emery finished 5th. Yeah, you could say he bottled the Champions League place. Obviously 1 point. If he won that last game, they would have qualified, right? Arteta finished 8th last season, so well out the top 4. This season, he's 11th at the moment. So what are we saying on that? Do you know what I mean? I think personally that Emery really should be given more time, because I haven't seen much in what Arteta's done. It's not night and day. Do you get me? So everyone's going to excuse, he had to stabilise the mess that that Emery and Wenger had before, but I don't believe that. I just think I feel sorry for Emery, because I don't think he was given the opportunity to put through exactly what he had to do. He still had a lot of players that he had to try and get rid of. Like I said, do you know what I mean? Like Zakas and all these other kind of players in the team. So I think, for my opinion, that Emery should have been given more time, because what I've seen in Arteta at the moment, I can't see that much of a difference. And then you're now going to give this guy who's unproven, got no real track record, what, a couple more years, and how much more, millions and millions. And is there a guarantee? Is there anything you can back it on? I don't think you can. So I think from my point of view, I would obviously say Emery should have given a chance, and Arteta, I'll give him a year, and I'll give him next season. I don't think he'll do well next season, and then I think fundamentally his time will be done, and I think, you know, fundamentally he'll be sacked, and then you'll have to start the process again, and then literally you got to restart the cycle. So at some point, I think you should bring in a manager with experience that you can invest in a proper long-term strategy. You know, 4 or 5 years, a bit like what Liverpool done with Klopp. Someone that, you know, who's got the experience, the knowledge, the expertise to build that club back up again to its place where, you know, you Arsenal fans think you should be. So thanks again, guys, for watching. And again, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe, because as I said before on my other video, I really want to start doing live streamings, get you guys involved, you know, get you guys on the phone, chatting on the calls, you know, chatting to me via StreamYard, and actually having that engagement. And that's what I enjoy. I want to have that kind of engagement, bit of banter, your opinion, my opinion, you know, have fun, and, you know, real debates and based on facts, not just, you know, hyperbole. So as I said before, please like and subscribe to the videos, guys. Hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys.